start back at 1976, Argenis. What happened in 1976 with the swine flu vaccine?
Well, I was 29 and living in California at the time, and a Dr. McBean from, I forgot her first name, she's an MD. She and Ida Honoroff, who was a consumer advocate and was nationwide syndicated on like 3,000 radio networks.
Right.
Those two women showed that the swine flu was a hoax, and that the swine flu vaccine that Ford and Rockefeller pushed through, David Rockefeller was our vice president and owned controlling stock in many pharmaceuticals. They were behind this swine flu thing. Even Gerald Ford went on and received his swine flu shot. Of course, David Rockefeller didn't. And they showed that the swine flu was a hoax and that the vaccine was going to harm and kill people.
And it did, in fact. Didn't some people die? I mean, a large number of people died from the vaccine. Isn't that right?
Well, there were 3 that died right there at the poll immediately after they got it. According to Ida, I did a radio show with her. She had the figures that showed 2,300 people, elderly people, died within 2 weeks of the shot as a result of the shot. In other words, they didn't have the flu before they got the shot, and then they got the swine flu from the shot. That is the only way that a human being can get a bird flu or a swine flu, is if it is injected in them. We do not have those tissue. Once a animal product goes into our stomach, it no longer holds the animal's tissue. It completely dissolves it and makes it into human tissue. So there's no way we can get a swine flu or a bird flu, avian flu, any other flu. Years ago, they used to blame it on races, the Spanish flu, the Mexican flu, and stuff like that.
Right.
Then when Rockefeller and Carnegie started taking over the universities in the early 1900s, shortly after that, after the Spanish flu incident, they started blaming everything on animals. Monkey flu, monkey AIDS, all this stuff. They're always blaming an animal, a natural creature. They're always blaming nature. You cannot get a virus into another animal. Viruses are cellularly produced in their whole form. So if a human cell creates a virus, it can only be done inside a human body or in a test tube where you have human cells.
So there's no cross species
of flus. You can't do of viruses. It's impossible.
Right. I mean, you can get a herpes from another human being, obviously, but you can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, you
no,
can't?
that is false also.
So how do people transfer herpes from one person to another?
They don't. That is also a fallacy. That's like saying, okay, the bears in northern Mexico come out of hibernation, and then the next door bears come out of hibernation all the way through the United States, all the way up to Canada, and all the way up to Alaska. So you're saying that is an epidemic. We have a bear epidemic. The swine, any kind of flu is the same thing. When the climate temperature is right, certain tissues will cleanse, and they may go in a 7-year cycle, they may have a 6-month cycle. It depends upon the tissue and how contaminated it is. If certain tissue needs to clean out every 2 years, it will create, and you can't use the bacteria, your body will create a solvent, a virus, that cleans that particular tissue every 2 years, every 6 months, every 3 months, every 7 years, every 12 years, depending upon that tissue and how contaminated it is. Solvents are not contagious. I can inject it into you, and that's how people get the only way people can get swine flu is if they've taken a pig tissue, grown it in a solvent toxic environment, and then these swine cells create a virus to break itself down.
Okay. Now
you can inject it into a human, and then you will find those actual swine tissue in there.
Which is where the
So
virus
if you
would end up
think
having
back-
someplace to reside then.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, there's no place to reside because they're not alive to reside.
Okay.
It's just you have a waste product, and now the body has to clean that waste product out of the body.
Now, a story of one enterprising cosmetic surgeon who figured out a way to treat his patients' faces at a distance.
I'm offering drive-through Botox.
That's right. You can get your injections from the comfort of your own car.
I got the concept for drive-through Botox after getting my COVID testing through a drive-through center nearby.